Can you feel the storm shine? Make it brighter for me.
All right, welcome to A State of Mind. We have Guy Grimberg with us today. So exciting. We have Jacqueline and we have Opie. So Guy, we would say Opie is Guy's emotional support water bottle, and he is here for emotional support.
Yes.
As we dive into it. Guy, what company did you start?
So I started a development company, GME Development, about 25 years ago. And started doing remodels, small jobs, and then eventually got bigger. We were buying properties, and now we just basically concentrate on custom, high-end, complex development. Mm-hmm. Hillside, caissons, stuff like that.
25 years. That's
25
crazy.
years doing this.
And when did you, because my mom, Jacqueline, when did you guys meet or how did you guys connect?
We met at, I forget the name, what property, was it Ocampo?
No, it was Castle Mare.
Castle Mare. Oh, yes, we just sold that. So yes, we met on a Palisades property overlooking the water. It was like a distressed property in a vacant lot on a hillside.
Did you just call her, or like, how did you guys actually meet?
I think she was a listing agent.
And
we
you
met
had a
her.
partner.
Yeah, Robert Ekman was
and
my partner.
Robert came by and saw it.
Yeah, and we met her. We met Dan, the owner. Right, Dan was the owner at the time, and we just all got along. We ended up buying the property. It unfortunately burned down in the recent fires, but we sold the land to a group from Israel, actually.
Well, my mom said to me a while back that you're the reason that she basically dove into specializing in new construction builds. So she said that, quote, you said, if you find 10 more guys like me, you'll be set.
Yes.
And you were right. You basically are one of the reasons her business is thriving.
Well, her personality was so, in like such a way that she just, she's pleasant to talk to. She's a go-getter. She makes transactions go. I never hear negative. Like the buyer, the seller, there's never like a conflict. There's always an answer, and you need to work with people like that. That's how I built my business. She makes things happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You're late, Guy. I'm late. You're late. Escrow. It's supposed to close tomorrow. I need another week. Jacqueline will make it happen. She's just like that. And so we got along because she made my transactions very pleasant. And I said to her, listen, you need, the way you are, pick up a couple developers, and look at her today. Like I'm, very, very pleased.
Now she specializes in it, and everyone calls her, like, even if they have no idea that she's like a consultant, to know how to do the real estate with the new construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We did one in Chautauqua. And I took your advice, and all the builders came in to try to look at your work, and I met a couple other people, and I started selling with them. And then we did one in the Huntington. We were the first one to sell in Ocampo for a big number in the Huntington, and then kind of took off from there. Yeah.
We had fun doing it too. It's not
but
like,
it's fun. Yeah.
It's fun. So that's the thing. A lot of real estate agents are transactional. It's like buy, sell, paperwork, you're done. You see them on another transaction in a few years after. With us, it was always like we sell property, we go celebrate, we get to meet the owners, the sellers, the buyers. It's one big happy family, and that's how the business continues because people know, people hear, oh, I know Guy, I know Ocampo people, new people I sold homes to on Chautauqua, and they're like, yeah, he's a good seller, he builds nice homes. And so my dedication was a lot to not just selling the homes, but getting to know the people I was selling my homes to. And I have countless friends and countless names that they call me for advice, even years after they've owned the homes. And that's the same thing with real estate agents. I think it's not just transactional. I think you can just make good friends.
Yeah, if you find your people that you can trust. Do you guys have any upcoming projects together?
Yeah, actually, we're in escrow to close on a property that burnt down that Jacqueline was investing in. On Oracle, and I think the builder got himself a little bit too deep in a complicated build. It's hillside, retaining walls, bunch of piles, an infinity pool that's kind of like sitting in the air, which is stuff I love. And she brought the deal to me, and she's actually going to partner in that deal, and I'm excited. It's going to be a great little project in Palisades. I'm happy.
So has it started at all, or?
I think we're targeting May 1st as a start date to actually get work.
And it's a complicated deal. That's the thing about Guy. He's one of the few builders out there that can tackle these things. If you buy a flat lot, anyone can do that. Any builder can do that. Any buyer can think, oh, I could just buy a lot and build something myself. Something like Oracle and some of the other ones Guy's done before, Paseo, they're so complicated that an average person just couldn't go do that. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's good at.
She always brings me the hard stuff. It's never the easy stuff.
But you do it so well.
I love
you do it fast. You
better be unique than be able to do it just like everyone else.
Well, yeah, and I also think that differentiates, like, a lot of builders in the last 20 years. I don't want to say, like, anybody became a builder, right? You go up with a license, you start building flat lot homes. I kind of separate myself because I like these high end. I like these complex where the piles and. I've done so many of these complicated hillside jobs, and it's the meat of what I do. And
also, when it goes on the market, there's not as many options, so it does already there in terms of uniqueness, right?
Well, it's hard to replicate it.
Yeah, exactly.
As a buyer, you can't just say, I'm going to redo this. So then your price point can be a lot higher as well.
Yeah. I mean, you can have people come and take pictures of your kitchens, your vanities, stuff like that. But it's impossible for them to figure out how I got a house so close to the street.
Yeah.
How did I get 30-foot ceilings? How did I get 18,000 square feet, house built? And
do you work with an architect on this, or do you look at it yourself?
Yeah, I work with an architect. I've worked with one guy for many years, but I've worked with several architects. Cool. Yeah.
Who's your designer?
So
do you do it yourself? Do you use different designers?
On complicated ones and big projects, I've used specific designers whose specialty, it could be a modern specialty or like a New York, Boston style, Cape Cod. So depending on what the style of the house is, but yes, on high end stuff, I don't want to pick anything. I just want to build the house.
How long ago did you switch over from like maybe more standard stuff to like crazy luxury houses? Because the houses I've seen you do now are on another level. Like, when was the switch, or was it like gradual?
It was before COVID. So I used to build these 4,000 or 5,000 square foot squares, I call them, like boxes. I used to build like 10, 12 of those a year, and I could do those in my sleep. And it got to a point it gets boring. So I can't do something that is, that structure repeats itself from lot to lot to lot. I mean, it could be in Palisades, it could be in Cheviot or Brentwood or Beverlywood. Right before COVID, I decided that I wanted to do more complicated stuff. And my dream was to build 766 Paseo Miramar, which is the house that survived the fires, 18,500. I mean, it was listed at $54 million before the fires, and then the fires came and it's hard market now. But that was my ultimate dream, to build something that size, that monstrous. And yeah, once you start building these complicated homes, it's hard to go back and build squares. I just can't. Everything I do now is picked, and the more complicated, the more I'm interested, which is cool because, again, a lot of builders will walk away.
Most
walk away from those type of deals. So yeah.
Why just because it's hard?
It's complicated.
Takes more work. That's why.
It's more work, and I think that builders, like a lot of builders just picked up building because they got a license and they build now. So they take A, combine it with B. They take this sub, this sub, this sub, this sub. They put these subs together and they build homes. I studied the art of building. Like, I loved what I did. Like, I used to go there, and I still do. Jacqueline knows this. When a house is being poured, foundation is being poured, when they're doing framing, I'm on the site. I'm there. I'm watching the concrete. I'm watching the guys. I'm making sure. I've studied framing. I've studied the integrity of the components of the house. So when a house is finished, if anybody has a question, I know exactly where everything is and why. Why is there no soffit? How come there are no soffits in the house here? Because I was able to find them on the exterior, on the roof, and things like that. So I like to study the building, and I like to study the geography and the way things come together, and it's for me, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, 25 years is crazy.
And you are always hands-on. You're always there.
Yeah.
You are. And your clients all love you and they always call you back and you always show up and you're friendly. I've never heard anyone say anything mean. Even the most difficult clients, I won't say who they are, they still like you.
They're there, yeah.
I mean, you're friendly.
I've had a lot of people come to me, no, dozen maybe.
And you'll help.
Yeah, but they've asked me to build for friends and clients. So that's the one thing I don't do. I don't like building for others. I basically buy my own stuff.
Yeah.
And then I develop the properties.
Are you interested in people coming in towards the end and giving like little bits of feedback and things?
Yes.
You can get behind that? Okay.
Yeah. So again, pre-COVID, when the market was like in its highest, I would say 90% of our properties, I think even Ocampo that we did together, 90% of the stuff we built was sold before it was done. And so people come in and they have like, okay, can you do this? Can you move
Small
this?
things, colors, whatever, tiles, little tiny things.
And that's the cool thing about buying from a developer versus buying from an end user, because I can modify and it's not that hard. Oh, you know what, this office, can we move the door to the other side and switch this and switch that and add some lights or move the speakers or give me some more wires, some more like audio visual, whatever it is, I can do that for them because I know everything that went into the house and it's easy for me to move things around.
I would say like the perfect storm is being with builders that, you know, you can keep repeating the business with, because then it keeps growing. Like you said in the beginning, it doesn't just end users and they buy and then you don't hear from them for like 5-10 years, maybe, even if you do that. And then working with an agent that is like really in tune with the community of where you're selling it. And then you have like the perfect little setup.
And how cool is it too for like a Jacqueline who knows her builder and her seller, right? So she's not selling my property, she's selling my ideas. And if a client comes to her and says, wow, this is cool, but I wish, boom, I know my builder, I know the seller, whatever you want, it's done. Like she doesn't even have to ask me. She knows buyer wants kitchen to be painted white instead of off-white or blue or pink. Absolutely. We can accommodate and do, and we've done this throughout the years. We've accommodated buyers who may have, you know, don't like the particular color of a bedroom or a particular wallpaper that was installed or even a layout of some sort or another.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times, so I have built again and again and I've sold again and again to clients. So one of my favorite stories is a couple that were divorced and they got married in one of my homes. So they bought the house together, they got remarried in the house. They had their kids, they had their first, second kid in the house. They outgrew the house. They bought another one in my home that was bigger. They outgrew that house with their third child and bought a house with a basement. So they bought 3 different homes from me throughout a 10-year period, which is awesome. And we're very good friends. And I have a couple of others like that. So that
says a lot about you.
Well, they
buy 3 houses from you.
Yeah, they trust me, and the product is there. Like like my homes, I know them. I know exactly.
I remember my mom growing up. She got the same car 3 times because it worked well. And I was like, we're getting the same car again. I think it might have been like the newer model. It was the same car because you just liked this car. And I get it. You need a newer version.
Same color. You said, but no one even knows you got a new car. You just keep getting the same color.
Yeah, just the house a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger.
X5, I think.
It was your favorite car ever.
They perfected the car, and you've noticed it. And I feel like in the business of building, you can't really build the same house that you built 20 years ago because times have changed.
Make it brighter for